Hey guys, I couldn't finish the initial video I planned for June, so I hope this one suffices. I'll hopefully have that one done in July. With the reveal of the Mimic in the Tales from the Beatsplex series, theories have been thrown around, from the worst of the worst, Mimic being a parallel to the game's Trolley Bot, to the best of the best. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of the ones I find to be in the high end of the spectrum. Is Endo02 a Model 2 Mimic? Well, I've decided I'm going to be going over every endoskeleton in the FNaF series and see if they can plausibly be a Mimic endoskeleton. As we know, Fazbear Entertainment mass-produced them, so they can be anywhere. First, let's go over the physical description of Mimic. Quote from Nexi. Edwin's first attempt to form the skull had started with simply placing two large white doll's eyes within the boxy confines of a piece of metal housing he'd scrounged from a broken down compressor. Because the square top looked nothing like a real head, though, Edwin had tried again. He had found a rounded bit of metal in the guts of the lever's machine, and he'd used it to form a narrow protuberance that jutted out from between the big white eyes. Under the eye housing, Edwin had welded in place a hinged jaw that he'd formed out of parts of the lever's machine's guide bars. Using a set of novelty chattering teeth he'd found in a box of old bits and bobs on the third floor, Edwin gave his creation a big, white-toothed mouth. Getting all this hardware connected to its programming required welding a large processor to the back of the skull and running a large tangle of wires all around the skull. Wires stretched from the back of the skull, dove in and out of both eye sockets, snaked through the mouth, and extended down the articulated neck that in turn connected with a metallic spine, which connected with a makeshift ribcage that was not as curved as anyone had wanted it to be, but it worked, and the ribcage was linked to two robotic arms that ended in pincer-like hands. Page 160 to 161. And with that being what we'll use to determine which endoskeletons could be Mimic, let's begin with Endo01 shares many features with Mimic, including large eyes, a hinged jaw, and a more boxy head shape. Endo01's Help Wanted model also features many wires going around the head, however is missing the eyes. The Special Delivery model also features the wires, however none of these models feature the ribcage, processor, or anything else that can make it Mimic. Although it seems very, very unlikely Endo01 is a Mimic, I guess there's no way to tell for sure. And so for now, I have to say he's his own thing. Next up, Endo02 does have a chance to be a Mimic endoskeleton, sharing the eyes, hinged mouth, boxy head shape, uncurved ribcage, wires protruding throughout the head and body, metallic spine, the protuberance between the eyes, and the endo rings around the arms. To add on to this, the O2 at the end of his name could imply he's a Mimic endoskeleton Model 2, which is what Fazbear Entertainment mass-produced. He also has what could possibly be a processor on the back of his head. To add on to this, he seems to be in a very similar, if not the exact same pose as Springtrap. I don't know if that really means anything, because Springtrap doesn't exist yet at this point, in 1987. Anyways, the ears are kind of a downside though, as I doubt a Mimic endoskeleton would have Freddy ears. Nightmare endoskeleton, Yindo, and the Glamrock endoskeletons are definitely not Mimic endoskeletons. There's absolutely no chance any of them are. Endo Plush actually has a chance to be a much smaller adventure version of Mimic. The eyes mostly match, the teeth kind of match, the body kind of matches, etc. The only thing that would convince me more if you had Mimic Ball, which could definitely be a reference to the Mimic. I mean, who else do we know that summons a green virtual mascot that mimics things? Mimic itself. Mindo has been theorized to be the Mimic endoskeleton, with the M in Mindo meaning mimic. However, his job is literally to mend and upgrade your endoskeleton. So I have to say that Mindo is not Mimic, and Mindo means mend endo. As of right now, the only animatronics we can be sure is an incarnation of Mimic are Burntrap, Glitchtrap, Tiger Rock, and the Storyteller. And yes, I'm aware those last two are very similar, if not the exact same creature. Anyhow, see you in July for the next main video. Also, make sure, if you're interested in it, keep an eye on my community tab, as I'll be posting teasers and progress reports there. Thanks for watching!